And if they choose not to join you on your journey, don't be mad about it. Keep building, keep pressing, keep moving. One day, they may need your boat as a rescue. Now, in Noah's age and in that time period, there wasn't anybody else that he could rescue. But in this age, in this time period, what you may be building may be for somebody else's rescue. Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. Today I want to have a conversation about beliefs. It's the beliefs that we have that will help us move mountains, build bigger and better things. Some of you may have heard this story about Noah. Noah was a guy in the Bible. So if you've heard any of the Bible stories about a man building a boat, yeah, this is that. But think about that story for a moment. You see, Noah had to believe that there was a God in order for him to hear from God, to do something that nobody ever did. You see, if you have a belief in a being greater than yourself, then you can move past some moments that will hold you hostage. Noah had to first decide that God was God alone. And if you choose to let the creator of the universe be the God that you're listening to, then you'll get some messages and some insight along the way that can support you on the journey. Because it took God to give Noah the idea that he needed to first build a boat. Then he needed God to give him the idea about the design and the structure of that boat. You see, at the time when this story was written inside of the Bible, there was no rain that had ever come down. So imagine Noah trying to explain to people while he's in the middle of dry land, in the middle of a space nowhere near the ocean, why he's building a boat. Now, I'm certain that there were a few people that around that time period that had built boats, but he was building this massive thing, this massive boat that I was told is like the size of 4 football fields. If you are building something that big, that great, and that grand, you are going to need a plan outside of yourself from a being greater than yourself. And Noah got that insight from God. You see, there will be things in your life that will be a vision bigger than yourself, greater than anything that you will ever imagine, that can only come from God. There were some moments in my world where I made a discovery that, okay, here I am trying to figure out how to move past my pain, move past my hurt, and hearing a whole lot of people tell me a whole bunch of different things. You're going to always get several different messages along the way when you're dealing with your journey. I want to encourage you today to know that if you find yourself in a position where you aren't really sure, hold on to the belief, to the voice that's inside of you that is spurring you on. Usually, that still small voice that you hear is a sign of God giving you them grand ideas, those big visions that only you seem to have. Nobody else understands what's going on with you. Nobody else can gain enough insight about why you just keep going day after day after day when it doesn't look like anything's manifesting. You see, it took Noah 120 years to build that boat. Day after day, he kept pressing, moment after moment, when it looked like there was nothing. I can imagine if God said, I need the boat to be this long, that it took him a long time just to gather the resources. If you have something that you have shared with someone as a vision in your mind, like you see this thing coming, you see this thing happening, but it doesn't look like anything's manifesting, hold on to your vision. Hold on to the belief that that dream will come to pass. Even if all the work it looks like you are doing, nothing is coming of it. Keep pressing, keep moving, and keep trusting God on the journey. Because one day, somebody will see some parts of your boat being built. And I'm certain along the way, when Noah was building his boat, someone actually stopped to go and check and say, Hey, this thing looks kind of massive. But because he hadn't finished building it and couldn't really go through giving enough vision of others, because there'll be dreams that you dream, thoughts that you have, that you aren't always able to really give someone else a clear perspective of what it looks like. Think about your phone. Can you imagine? Because there was a time where phones did not exist. Telling somebody that I'm going to be speaking to somebody in other countries, doing video calls where I can see them on my phone, looking at podcasts and listening to them through this device that I hold in my hand, where I can also check my calendar, log in some information, do a little search. Instead of walking to a library, I can have it on my phone and pull all that stuff down in this little handheld device. Can you imagine telling somebody that? Well, that same thought was a thought that was occurring during the time of Noah. You got to believe in what you're building, even if nobody else sees it. You got to believe that all these pieces and all these parts will one day come together, even if no one else can visualize it. That phone that you hold in your hand, that you may be listening to this on this moment, somebody had to believe it so that it can be built. Someone had to believe that it would exist so that that moment can be found. There is something inside of your soul that you believe, that you can't fully explain, that no one else understands, that you are going to have to hold on to until it's manifested. I remember walking through my journey of deciding that I had to birth my book. That wasn't something that I initially imagined, but when it came to pass, I had to formulate a thought. Now, for me, being a dyslexic nerd, that was not initially something that I was going to really do. It took all of my energy, all of my efforts, and all of my thoughts to be able to get the reading done and the writing that I was currently doing. But then to reveal my soul on the pages for the world to see forever, that took a different type of belief. Now, that may seem small for some and major for others. There is something that you have that may seem small for some and major to you. Keep pressing, keep laying the foundation to build your boat, to take you on the journey that you are trying to get to. And if someone comes because they see little pieces of it show up, because I'm certain that as he got to build a little bit more on the ground up, someone came and said, what is that actually supposed to do? And for Noah to say, one day it's going to rain. It's going to rain so much that this is going to lift the boat up so that it can carry others to safety. During the time that Noah was building his boat, I'm certain that he invited others to join him. During the time that you are building your boat, there may be others that you may invite as well. And if they choose not to join you on your journey, don't be mad about it. Keep building, keep pressing, keep moving. One day, they may need your boat as a rescue. Now, in Noah's age and in that time period, there wasn't anybody else that he could rescue. But in this age, in this time period, what you may be building may be for somebody else's rescue. Actionable steps of stuff that you walk through in your life, like I did in my book. Yes, it says red alert. Is he the one, the pocket guide to finding the love of your life? But it was a strategy that I used to reset my life after my divorce. And I'm discovering more and more. And I want to thank those of you that have purchased the book and reached out to me to let me know that the boat that I built is your refuge. There is something that you have that you need to build, that somebody behind you is going to come and pick up to use as a resource. Get the vision and keep it moving. And when God is the one that gives you the plan, he will be the one to support you in getting it built. Because once Noah was done building that boat, when I read that, because it took me a couple times reading it to really get the discovery, how did the boat really get closed up? All these animals and all this stuff, Noah had to be on the boat redirecting and telling people where to go and what to do. And when I read that day that God is the one that closed the boat to seal Noah and his family in with the things and the resources that Noah was told to put on the boat. If you believe in the God I serve, Jesus will join you on the journey and seal inside your soul some things that need to be on the boat. He will close it up so that you are safe, and he will let you be the one that can be a support system for those around you. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. Believe in that big thing. Believe in that thing that no one can see. Believe in the vision that looks like you're building something in the wrong space at the wrong time in the wrong moment. Because building a big boat like Noah did on dry land when there was no such thing as rain, miles and miles away from the ocean, his belief kept him working. His belief kept him moving when he was the only one that really had the thought to make it happen. You may have a belief where you are the only one that knows and can make it happen. Trust in that, believe in that, and let that belief carry you forward. And if you want someone to join you on the journey, feel free to go to my website, TanyaEHood.com. There you can click under the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. And if you are on YouTube, you can join me live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can continue this conversation or we can start a new one. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.